Hi guys, this is Mary. Welcome back to Cardz TV. Today we're going to make a cute little card. It can be for Valentine's Day, but you can use it for birthdays or friendship card or thinking of you card. It's just going to be a cute little card, and we're going to use Create a Critter, and we're going to use this Harvest Gathering mat stack. And I know you probably think, well, that's kind of fall colors and everything, but when you see what we're going to put on our card, you'll know why I chose to use this mat stack. Now, our card is going to be on craft cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it opens like this. And we're going to have a chocolate brown layer, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and get that put on. This is a very quick little card, but I think it turns out super cute. Our next layer is a stripe from the Harvest Gathering mat stack, and that's from Die Cuts with a View. And can you see it's got a gold or kind of a bronze stripe running through it? I really like that. It's very shiny and very pretty. And this was cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to go ahead and add that onto our card as well. We've got that attached, and I did go ahead and snip off one corner, just about 3/4 to an inch in. Just for a little interest, we're going to add a little button up there just to give it a little more interest. Now down here at the bottom, I've got a polka dot layer, and this is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and this is going to go right down here. I love these beautiful colors together. We'll get that put on. Now if you look closely in the stripe, there's a turquoise stripe. So I thought it would be pretty to add a turquoise border across here. And this is cut at 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. And we're going to go ahead and put that border right across here. It's going to be very colorful. We've got our card base all put together. I love these colors. And I've got this turquoise button, and I've put some this is called Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to say it, baker's twine through this turquoise button. Just tied it in a knot and frayed out the ends, and we're going to put that up here in this corner with a glue dot. You can see how that turquoise just really makes the other colors pop. So we'll go ahead and get that put on. We've got our card base all ready for our image, and we're going to be using this little fire with the logs over on page 63 in Create a Critter. I cut the background of the flame and the logs out of a chocolate brown, and I cut this at 3 1/2 inches. And I don't really need this piece except to glue my other pieces too, because I'm not going to be using I'm going to be using this piece but not letting the brown show through for the little faces that it cuts. So I cut this at 3 1/2 out of the brown for my base. I cut the logs out of a different shade of brown, and that's on layer 1. And what I did with those, I wanted them to look more like logs with bark. And I have a Cuttlebug folder. This one's called Distress Stripes. Well, I put my logs in here sideways so that the stripes would be running across. And I love the way they came out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it left the image just like bark on there. And I took some ink and some chalk and rubbed over it to highlight it, and it cuts these two little kind of circles right there. Well, to make it look round and give it more dimension, I bent those down a little bit, and on the back I've got 1 thickness of foam tape, and that's going to keep those ends raised up from the card, and it looks just like the round ends of logs. I love that. But those logs are right there on layer 1. Those were also cut at 3 1/2. I cut this flame on layer 2 at 3 1/2, and I cut this one on layer 3. And if you can see, it has an outline or an outside in the yellow. Well, I didn't use that. I used the part it cut out of the inside to cover the face on the orange. And you can see here what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see where it cut the holes or not because I've already put some foam tape on there. But I knew I wanted to stamp a face on there. So I used layer 2 and layer 3, but not the way they were intended, so that I could use my Peachy Keen face. And all of this was cut at 3.5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together. Now, I've got my foam tape at the ends of my log, but the rest of this I'm just going to put down with my ATG gun. And then I'm going to put the flame with the 1 thickness of foam tape on top, and then the whole thing is going to have foam tape on it, so it'll stand out from the card. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put together. I just love how these logs came out. I think that's so cool. Now I've got my logs and my flame on 2 thicknesses of foam tape, but before I stick it down, let me tell you about the Peachy Keen face that I used. This came from the basic paper doll face assortment. I used the 1-inch size, and I used this one right down here. It's just a cute little smiling face. I think it's really, really cute for this card. And I did take some orange chalk instead of pink, because he is a flame, and highlighted his cheeks. And I took a white jelly roll pen and put a dot in each eye. And then I took some yellow as well as some more orange chalk and went all around the edges to make it look, you know, more like a flame. I went around all of the orange flame with some creamy brown chalk ink. And like I said before, I used the chalk ink and some chalk on my logs down here. Now, for the sentiment, and you'll see why I used the logs and the flame, I used Cardz TV, Hugs and Kisses. Now, this can be for Valentine's or any time of year that you want to send somebody a sweet little card, because there's lots of other things on here other than just for Valentine's. You make me happy, you are my sunshine, you make my heart sing, you and me. You could use it for birthdays, anniversaries, thinking of you, but we're going to use You Warm My Heart. And I took some Memento Rich Cocoa ink, and I had cut a banner out of this same yellow and stamped that on there with the Rich Cocoa ink. And I've got my banner cut on either end, and that's going to go right down here. And you can see now why I used the flame. I think that turned out so cute. I'm just loving these Peachy Keen faces, and of course I love my very own Cardz TV stamps. Sorry guys, but I love them. Just have to say that. But I think it turned out cute. If you guys want to give this one a try, I know lots of you have the Create a Critter cartridge. That's just another one of the cute little things in there that I hadn't used. I had used a lot of the animals, but I hadn't used this, and this is kind of one of the accessories, because the animal on this page would be the fox. And there's also a teepee. Get your cartridges out, guys, and take a look at what's in there, and just think outside the box and think, how can I use this in another way? There's just thousands and thousands of ways we can use these cartridges. Just give it a little thought. Thank you so much for coming by today, guys. I'll see you again really soon. Bye now.